Hello guys, this is episode number 6, and in this episode we're gonna be covering the definition of important terms used in Forex and CFDs, part 1. So this is the part 1. After this part 1, we're gonna also cover the part 2, which is over here. All right. So first of all, we will jump to the part 1. Okay. I will explain you everything very feasibly. Okay. All right. So first of all, uh, we're gonna uh, le- we're gonna learn about the pips and the points. So before we go to the pips and points, I just need to share you the background information so that you can have and develop a forethought about pips and points. All right, so you know that everything in the world has a unit of measurement. Okay. Okay, so what I mean to say, every quantifiable thing in the world has the unit of measurement. What does the quantifiable means? Quantifiable means that anything that can be measured, okay? Anything that can be measured is known as quantifiable. So every quantifiable thing in the world has the unit of measurement. For example, we take the weight, okay? For example, we take the weight. So we can measure weight in milligrams. Okay. We can also measure the weight in grams. You know that. And we can also measure the weight in kilograms. Okay. That's a basic units of measurements. Okay. These are the basic units of measurement. Similarly, when we are talking about the height, okay, we have certain units of measurements. Okay. So what are those units of measurements here? For the height, let's suppose we have centimeter, centimeter, okay? Then we have feet, we have inch, okay? Inch or inches, all right? And then we have, what to say, meter. That's it, okay? Meter. So these are the units that are used to measure meters, okay? Oh, sorry, that are used to measure the height. Similarly, if we have to measure the distance, okay? If we have to measure the distance, what units can we use? Okay, we have the unit like, let's suppose here, meters, okay? And then we have kilometer, okay? And we also use miles, okay? These are the units of measurement for distance. Okay, for weight, there is another popular unit which I have forgotten to mention, that is pounds, okay? All right. So for the distance, we have meter, kilometer, and miles. So like this, like, okay, we have a lot of unit of measurements for various different quantifiable things in the world. Okay. Now, when it comes to the price movement, okay, when it comes to the price movement, how can we measure it? Okay. Now, for the price movements, there are two ways to measure the price movements. Number one is pips. Okay, pip or pips. And the second one is points. All right. So these are the true units of measurement for the price movements in the financial markets. You have to remember that. Now, the question arises, in which situation will we use pip and in which situation we will use points? So let me tell you by the simple definition that 1 pip is equals to 10 points. Okay. So it means that the points is the smallest unit of measurement. Okay. Points is the smallest unit of measurement. All right. And pips is larger than points. So this one is small. This one is large. Now, how about this one? This one is small. This one is large. Okay. How about this one? This one is small. This one is large. How about this one? This one is small. This one is large. Okay. So every units of measurements have small and large units. Okay. For example, okay. Okay. All right. So I hope everything is clear right now. So for every quantifiable thing in the world, there is one small unit of measurement and one large unit of measurement. In the same way, in terms of price movements, the points is the smaller unit of measurement, pip is larger unit of measurement. Okay. All right. So let me go further now. Let's suppose this is house one and this is house two. All right. You want to go from house one to house two. Okay. When you want to go from house one to house two, what unit of measurement you will measure? You will use the unit of measurement as meters. Okay. Or just call it as meters. All right. So we will use the unit of measurement as meters. So let's suppose the distance is 200 meters. Okay. So we're going to use this measurement. And at the same time, when we use like this, 0.2 kilometers, if we mention the distance between house one and house two like this, which one is more appropriate? This one is more appropriate or this one is more appropriate? Of course, 200-meter is much more appropriate in this case scenario because you are measuring the house because this is a short distance. So the point is when you are measuring the short distances, you're gonna use meters. But how about you are measuring the distance between two cities, city one, and this is city two. Now, what unit of measurement is more appropriate? Obviously, the kilometer is more appropriate because when you are measuring the large distance, you're going to use the larger unit of measurement. When you are measuring the smaller unit, you're going to use the smaller unit of measurement. Very simple. Okay. So we have to measure the distance between this one. And let's suppose the distance is, let's suppose 100 kilometers. Okay. 100 kilometers. And what about the so uh, if the distance between city one and city two is 100 kilometers, then the distance in the meters would be 100,000 meters. So which one is more better? Of course, in this situation, okay, when you are measuring the long distance between city one and city two, you're gonna use kilometers, okay, and not meters. In the same way, when you are using the short distances, when you are measuring the short distances, you're gonna use meter and not kilometer. Do you understand that? In the same way, okay, we can put this into the same context here and let's talk about the price, okay? Let's suppose if you are measuring smaller price distance, then you're gonna use points. But if You are measuring larger price movements. You're gonna use pips. Understand? It's very simple to understand in the same context here. So right now you have already understood the concept of pips and points. So pips and points are the units of measurements for the price movement in the financial market. Okay. So we're gonna just remove this all and we're gonna continue with our slide now with our document. So the pips is the smallest price move that a given exchange rate can make. Okay, so pip is the smallest price move that a given exchange rate can make. In most cases, currency pairs, one pip is equivalent to 0.0001. Okay, but this can vary in certain pairs, such as Japanese yens pairs and CFDs pair, where one pip is equivalent to 0.001. So what does it say? It's very simple. Okay, one pip is equals to 0.0001. Okay, now value of one pip in Forex major, minor, and exotic currency pairs except JPY pairs. Okay, the value of one pip is 0.0001 in major, minor, and exotic currency pairs except JPY pairs. Okay, now we're going to determine the value of the pip in the JPY pairs. So let's see. Okay, so the value of one pip is equals to 0.01 in JPY pairs. All right. All right. In the same way, the value of one pip in the major, minor, and exotic pairs except the JPY pairs is 0.0001. Okay. In the same way, the value of one pip, okay, in the JPY pairs is 0.01. Okay. Similarly, the value of one pip in the commodity pairs is also 0.01. Okay. So now we're gonna determine the value of the points. Okay. So you have to keep these things in mind. Value of 1 point. Okay. So I just gonna copy this. Okay. And I'm gonna just replace and make some changes in it to make it into point. Okay. This will save my time. So I'm gonna do 1 point is equals to okay. Okay. So in the same way, the value of 1 point. All right. So I have written down the entire context, which is very important for this video. Okay. So the value of one pip in the major, minor and exotic currency pairs except JPY pairs is 0.0001. In the same way, the value of 1 pip in the JPY pairs is 0.01. Okay. Similarly, the value of 1 pip in the commodity pairs is equals to 0.01. Okay. The value of 1 pip in the major, minor, and exotic currency pairs except JPY pairs is 0.00001, 4 decimal places. Okay, sorry, 5 decimal places. So the value of 1 point in the JPY pairs is 0.001. Okay, the value of 1 point in the commodity pairs is equals to 0.001. So by this definition and by this way, we know that the pip is more bigger than the points. Okay, the pip is more bigger than the points. So we can just determine it that pip is okay. The pip is larger than points. Okay, this is a general idea which we have derived. Now we have to determine how much pips points are there in one pip. How we can determine it? I have told you before that in 1 point there are 10 points, but how do we get this figure? How do we get this value? Okay, I'm gonna prove this right here, right now, and you're gonna understand how the relationship between pip and points was discovered or was quantified. Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to take just one value of pip here. So you take any value, it's up to you. So I'm going to take this value. Okay, so I'm going to take this value. Okay, and I also going to take this value for the JPY pairs for my ease. I could also take the value of pip and points in the major, minor, and exotic pairs, but the problem is that they have a more number of decimal places. Okay, here the decimal places are are like 2 to 3 decimal places. So this would make a calculation more easier. That's why I took the JPY pairs calculation value for the pips and points. Okay, so I say that 1 pip is equals to 0.0101. Okay. Similarly, 1 point is equals to 0.001. Okay. For the JPY pairs. For JPY pairs. Okay. Now I need to find out, okay, the relationship between pip and point. Okay. Okay, so we are determining the value of points now. So we know that when we are determining the value of points here, so we're gonna just write down like this because we are already aware of the pips. Okay, we need to find the value of the points. How many points are there in the pips? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna place our x here. Okay, the value of x here, all right, eh, in front of points, and we will determine the value of points. Okay, very simple. Now the next step would be, okay, we're gonna do 0.01 divided by, okay, we're going to divide it by 0.001 is equals to x points. All right, it's very simple. So when we divide it, okay, and when we use a calculator, what value will we get? Okay, we will get the value of 10. X points. So the value of X is 10 points. Okay. So by this definition, we just figured out that one pip is equals to 10 points. Okay. It's very simple. We just use this, uh, these measurable values of the pips and the points, and then compare them. After comparing them, we figured out the relationship between pip and the points. So what's the relationship? One pip is equals to 10 points. So if we don't know the value of this one, so X pip would be equals to 10X points. Okay. All right. So we know the value of the pips. Okay. So if one pip is equals to 10 points and X pip is equals to 10X points, then what is the value of one pip? 1 point. 1 point is equals to how many pips? Okay. How are we going to determine it? Okay. How are we going to determine it? It's very simple. If one pip is equals to 10 points, then the 1 point would be equals to how much? So, okay. So it's very simple. We're going to just do the calculation here. 1 pip is equals to 10 points. Okay. Now we have to get the value of 1 point. So how we will get the value of 1 point? We will divide it by 10. Okay. When we divide it by 10, we will also divide this side by 10. Okay. So this would become, so what will be the answer? 10 divided by 10 will cancel down. Okay. And 1 divided by 10 would be 0.1. Okay. So 1 point is equals to 0.1 pips. Simple as that. Okay. Similarly, we can say that we can put the value of this one into this formula and we can find out the value of the points. So 1 point is equals to 0.1. All right. So 1 point is equals to, so X point, sorry. X points is equals to 0.1 X pips. All right. This is the formula. Once you understand this formula, you can convert every point into, you can convert point into pips and pips into points. It's very easy. So let us do some calculation. Okay. So by simple definition is, as I told you, when you want to convert point into pips, then just multiply by, sorry, then just divide by 10. When you want to convert pips into points, then just multiply by 10. That's it. For example, okay, we have 50 pips. Now we need to see how many points are there in 50 pips. So what you're going to do is very simple. You're going to do 50 multiply by 10 and we get 500 points. Okay. All right. Now let's suppose we have 250 points and we need to convert it to the pips. How many pips? So what you're going to do, 250 divided by 10 okay? And you will get an answer. So answer would be 25 pips. So it's simple as that, right? So that's what you can use if you just remember these simple uh f- ways to two simple ways of conversion, okay, between pips and points, then you don't have to remember all of the derivations and all of the formulas. You can just use this simple objective formula to convert between pips and points. I hope this is clear now, and we're going to move on to our next session. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right. So we have done this pips and points, okay, and we have also done the conversion, okay, between pips and points. And now we're gonna understand the different pip scenario, okay, and means we're gonna compare the price movement from one price to another price, and we need to calculate how many pips are in between, okay. So when the price of GBP USD moves from 1.26300 to, I think I should cover this in the next episode. This is gonna make my video much longer. So we have already covered 4 points, and in the next video, we're gonna cover these 3 points, these 3 to 4 points. So yeah, this section is a little bit longer, so I'm gonna cover it in the next session. Okay, so this is episode number. So this is the conclusion of episode number 6, and we're gonna continue. Uh, and we're gonna continue the further important terms in our next episode. Okay.